Hello and welcome back to Paul's Beer Reviews. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. We're at that time of year now, Crimbo Limbo, where we don't know what day it is, what's going on. I hope you had a fantastic Christmas. I hope you're looking forward to a new and prosperous 2024. We've got a couple of days now till the big night, until New Year arrives. I've still got my tree up. It's been wasted this year. I put it up and always like to have it as a backdrop for my videos in December. I've just not got round to doing any, so I do apologise for the lack of content lately. Just been crazy busy at work, as you can imagine. But it's that time of year again where I like to kind of look back on my year in beer and give you my opinion, my beers of the year, my breweries of the year, my experiences of the year. So we're going to get straight to it. I'm going to do this video over two parts. It's probably going to be a bit of a long one. And to be honest, I don't think I've got the content, the amount of space left on my phone to do a long one. So I'm going to do it in two parts. And I figured I'd break it down, go January through to June. And then the second part will be July till now. So we get into it with the beers. So what normally would have been a short list, it's quite a long list, to be honest. There's a lot of really good beer that I've been accumulating on the shelf behind me, which is what I use and go back and look at from when I'm deciding my beers of the year. And I've even got rid of a few that didn't quite make it, but there's still some absolute worldies, some cracking breweries that I really wanted to highlight in this video. So we'll get straight into it. So we'll start early doors of 2023, and I started chatting with Scott from Fel Brewery up in Lancashire, and they kindly sent me a box of beers early on in the year. And there was one in particular I really wanted to get stuck into, and it was their Tinderbox IPA. And it's their 6.3% West Coast IPA. Absolutely glorious beer. It was citrusy, it was hoppy, it was like a jamminess to it. It's everything you want a good Westie to be. And I love the artwork, the use of colour. I mean, that absolutely pops on my shelf. Fel Brewery. Check them out if you haven't already. They are doing some really, really good stuff there. So Tinderbox, check that out. Fantastic beer. Fel Brewery. Looking forward to coming up to seeing them guys next July. I'm going to be up there, so I'm going to go and check out the brewery and see them guys. So looking forward to that. So yeah, Fel Brewery, Tinderbox. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic beer. A new brewery to me this year, Missing Link. Simple artwork. They've got a range of beers. The can's always black, and they've got a different colour face on the ape. This was their Capuchin, however you pronounce that. This was their New England IPA, and it was a 6.8% ABV. I bought a mixed pack of them earlier in the year, and it had a Pilsner, a Lager, a Pale, various IPAs. It was an outstanding box of beer. It really was. And this one was easily one of the best New England IPAs I've had this year. And everything in the box was terrific. I didn't have a bad beer in that box. Missing Link. I forget where they are. Sussex. West Sussex. Chiddingale Farm, West Sussex. Missing Link. Check them out. Check them out. I think they do camping on their site as well. So you can go there and have a few beers, which is... very, very inviting. It does sound like a good idea. Trek and Pinter collaborated to do a chocolate and gingerbread imperial stout. They called it Nothing More. It was 10.5%. This was like an early contender for beer of the year. I thought it was perfect. It was like a ginger nut wrapped in chocolate in beer form. It was absolutely perfect. It was everything I wanted it to be. I bought this one from Trembling Madness, and as soon as I saw it, I wanted it. And it's something that I tend to do. I've noticed there's a pattern. I tend to drink big imperial stouts in the early stages of the year. I don't drink them at Christmas. I tend to wait until the new year has started. It seems to be something that keeps happening with me. It's not deliberate, but that's the way it goes. January, February, the cold days, I want imperial stouts. That is a work of art, an absolute work of art. It was perfect. So Nothing More by Trek and Pinter, their chocolate gingerbread imperial stout. That was incredible. I will be keeping an eye on Trek over the next few weeks and see if they release something similar. A brewery I was not expecting to have in my list for beers of the year, Tiny Rebel. Probably the best branding and best marketing brewery in the country, I would say, or the UK, should I say. Um, they celebrated their 11th birthday this year, and they released some special beers. One of them caught my attention, and it was this coffee and popcorn slow drip stout. And it said that they're Belgian chocolate, Welsh popcorn, and extract coffee. So I was a little bit on edge with it, because I've had some bad beers from Tiny Rebel, just let's be fair, but I've also had some good ones over the years. This was outstanding. It did everything that it says on the tin. It tasted like popcorn. It tasted like coffee. It tasted like chocolate. It was delicious, and it put a stupid smile on my face. And it's one I keep looking back at. I think I'm glad I got it now, because I had my doubts. I wasn't sure to get stuck in with the 11th birthday beers, because they did some crazy beers for their birthday. But this one really took my fancy. Again, the branding, the artwork on the can is incredible, and the beer inside was absolutely terrific. So well done to Tiny Rebel. Nice to see them there, getting a bit of love. Bert Mill. This was the first double IPA of the year I had, and it was Swimming Giants, 8% double IPA from Bert Mill. It was perfect. Absolutely glorious. The drinkability on this beer was outstanding. It was almost too good. 8% double IPA, New England in style. It was soft, it was fruity, it was tropical. It's just absolutely glorious on the palate. It drank like a lesser ABV beer, which I think is always a compliment for a double IPA or even a triple IPA. If it drinks like it's less, that's usually a sign of a very, very good beer. This was outstanding from Bert Mill. Swimming Giants, excellent beer. Looking forward to seeing some more from them this year coming. Baron. These guys were my brewery of the year last year. I love them. I love them. Absolutely love what they're doing over there. This was their red IPA. I was really into my red beers at the turn of the year last Christmas. And when I found out that they brewed a red IPA, I had to get involved with that. 6.6%. It was jammy, it was malty, it was hoppy. It was absolutely glorious. Nutcase from Baron. Do check out Baron. You probably won't get that beer again, because they are small batch brews. They constantly change. They don't have a core range as such yet. Whether they've got any plans to, I don't know. Northern Monk. They're one of those breweries that used to be incredible, and they're a brewery now that I kind of worry a little bit about, because I feel like their priorities seem to lay with what beers they're putting in the supermarkets rather than what beers are pushing the limits of their brewers. If that makes any sense, they're brewing what's going to sell, or they're brewing novelty stuff. And funnily enough, it was one of their novelty beers that I absolutely adored at the beginning of the year. And it was their take on the Lyle's Golden Syrup. So the branding is unmistakably Lyle's Golden Syrup. And this was their Monk's Syrup Stack. And it was their pancake breakfast stout, coming in at 6% ABV. Again, it was delicious. It was syrupy. It was coffee. There was chocolate. It was absolutely glorious. Really, really good beer. I sold a lot of this at work. I bought crates of it in. The cans flew out, and the kegs, I had a couple of kegs of it, and again, they flew out, which is saying something, because it's a 6% beer. Generally at the bar, anything that's over 5.5%, they don't always fly out particularly quickly. That one did very, very well. So once again, the Monk Syrup Stout from Northern Monk. Lovely beer. Really, really good beer. Mad Squirrel. Got to get my local boys in there again. Evergreen. This was a West Coast triple IPA, 10% Westy. I'd had a West Coast triple from another brewery shortly before drinking this, and it was awful in comparison. And I asked Mad Squirrel if they'd send me a couple of cans of this, because I was ordering some beer from them for work. And I said, could I get a new couple of cans of the new West Coast Tipper? And they kindly sent over a few cans for me and the boys at work. And I took this home, did a review, and I was so impressed. Again, the drinkability of it was outstanding. It drank like a lesser beer, like a lesser strength beer. It did everything that a good West Coast IPA can do, should do, but without that overly sweetness or kind of the weird sort of aftertaste you get with big beers. It was a gloriously brewed beer. Evergreen from Mad Squirrel, West Coast triple IPA, fantastic beer. Another one of my favourites. Glasshouse for me have been one of my breweries of the year. They've been outstanding. I've loved working with them this year. Bought a lot of their beer this year at work. Just going to wet me whistle. I'll come back to this beer at the end of the video. I've got to make a point. Bringing Sessi back. 3.5% pale ale. Easily the best low strength pale ale I've had since People, Money, Space and Time from Verdant. And that was my beer of the year a couple of years back. It's a Citra Mosaic and Idaho 7 hopped pale ale. 3.5%, simple branding. Sticks out like a sore thumb when you put it on a pump clip. Sold kegs and kegs of this stuff this year. Probably been, well, in fact, yeah, easily been the biggest selling guest beer we've had at work this year. And it's absolutely glorious. I could sit there and drink that all afternoon. And I think that's the best compliment you could give it. Bringing Sessi back, Glasshouse. I believe that's core range now. If you've not had anything from Glasshouse, I do recommend getting some stuff from them because they are killing it at the moment. Glasshouse in Birmingham. Check them out. And looking at what I've got here, I think I'll wrap up the first part. And that was the first half of the year. There's a lot of beer there, a lot of information to take in. I'll let you delve into that, take it in, and I'll be back with the second part of the video when you next see me. So until the next one, you take care.